So the second stage in the commission of crime is preparation. Now preparation is arranging of the means which are necessary in order to constitute or in order to commit a criminal offence. So for example, if I want to shoot someone and I procure a gun for that purpose and the bullets as well, that is the stage of preparation. Now all the offences at preparation stage is not punishable per se, but there are certain offences like waging the war against the government of India, or procuring the materials or the machines which are used for counterfeiting the coins, stamps, notes. These are certain offences which at the very stage of preparation itself is an offence. Now the third stage is the attempt. Now attempt is a direct movement towards the commission of the crime. So when I have procured the gun and the bullet, I load the gun and I point it in the direction of the person I want to kill, and I pull the trigger. Now the moment I pull the trigger, I cannot take back the bullet which leaves the barrel of the gun. So here my attempt is complete when by my external act I cannot take back what I have done. So that is attempt. Now if the person is hit, it is a fourth step, that is the commission of the offence. But if the person is not dead, or if the person because of any other reason escapes the bullet or is not hit by the bullet and he survives, then my attempt is complete. So that is that there is a difference between murder and an attempt to murder, what we say. Because in attempt to murder, the person does not die, but I had the intention to kill the person and I did that act despite of all of those things. So these are the four stages. So the intention, the preparation, the attempt, and the commission of the offence. Now there are certain general exceptions under IPC which debars your liability under criminal law or under IPC. The first is mistake of fact. If a person is under a mistake of fact, like for example, a soldier follows the command of his superior officers, so he has to follow it. Now if he commits a crime under that on that pretext, so that would debar his liability because there was a mistake of fact on his part. Now an act of judge who is acting in his judicial capacity would not be liable under IPC. Or accident is another exception, because if you have taken all the due care and caution which was needed to be taken care of, and you are doing a lawful act in a lawful way, and despite that some act occurs which is injurious to someone, that would be a mere accident and would not be a criminal offence. Now act which is done to avoid other harm. So there would be no criminal intention in such an act, because you are trying to save the bigger harm or the other harm. So there again there would be no criminal intention, or there would be no criminal liability. Now there is this act of child within or under 7 years of age is not actionable because this term there is a specific term for this, dolly incapax, which means that below 7 years they do not have the mental faculty developed enough to understand the nature and the consequences of the act. Whereas there's another dolly capax, which means that children within the age of 7 to 12, the court looks into their maturity, whether they were able to understand the nature and the consequence of what they were trying to achieve or what they were trying to do. There is again person of unsound mind. So this is again an exception to criminal liability, but he must be incapable of knowing or understanding the nature and the consequence of what he is doing. He should be legally insane. Now intoxication is again a general exception, is an exception to criminal liability, because however in this intoxication should be involuntarily. Meaning thereby, I cannot myself go have some intoxicating material, commit a crime and take a plea of intoxication. But such intoxicating material should have been administered to me against my will or against my consent or without my knowledge. Then only I can take this plea of intoxication. Then the last one, very important, is the private defense. Private defense means there's a right that has been given to every citizen to protect his or her own body as well as his or her own property. Now, why? Because at all times state and its machineries cannot come to aid you or cannot come to our rescue. So a reasonable right has been given to us to protect ourselves and our property. So the private defense starts as soon as there's a reasonable apprehension in my mind that some crime might be committed against my body or against my property. So, for example, if you move towards me holding a knife in your hand, threatening that you would kill me, a reasonable apprehension comes to my mind that you might kill me or you might injure me. So I have a right to private defense in such cases to stop you with reasonable force by which I can stop you. Now, there are certain offences whereby I can cause death to the other person, to the perpetrator of the crime, and still be not liable under criminal law. These are the offences which are likely to cause death or grievous hurt, offences of rape and unnatural lust, then kidnapping or abduction, then wrongful confinement, or the very recently which has been added, throwing acid. So if you are attempting to throw acid on me, I can reasonably cause your death and still not be liable. Under your property, the right to private defense to cause death when attack is against your property, when the offense being attempted is robbery, house trespass by night, mischief by fire, theft, or house trespass. So these are the offences which have been given under IPC itself, whereby you can cause death to the person who is attempting to do such act. So your right to private defense extends to causing death. Now this right to private defense ends as soon as the aggressor has retracted. So if you are coming towards me swearing that you would kill me with a knife, and the moment you turn back and you start going away from me, and yet I go and kill you, I cannot take the plea of private defense because you retracted. The moment the perpetrator of the aggression retracts, the right to private defense stops or ends. The second is when the assistance of any public authority like police can be obtained. So, for example, a person calls me up and says that I'll come and beat you up, and I say, okay, I'll wait for you, and you come and I beat you up. I cannot take this plea of private defense because I had the time to go contact the police and take their help. So here the private defense would not, as a defense, would not work for me. So with this, we come to the end of the basics and the fundamentals of criminal law. We understood what is law. Criminal law is not static. We understood crime, criminal act. We understood how to fasten liability, the actus reus and the mens rea. We also understood the fundamental principles, the two principles of innocence and burden of proving. We understood the stages in commission of a crime. Then we discussed general exceptions to avoid liability under Indian Penal Code. So with this we come to an end to our first module. In the second module we would be dealing with offences against human body. Thank you guys.